Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. Listen, it's March the 9th already. Wasn't we just saying March the 2nd? Lord have mercy. But listen, welcome to another session of prayer for marriages. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Whether you're watching us live or you're catching the replay, good afternoon, good evening. Listen, it feels like afternoon. I'm confused with my time of the day because it's 7 o'clock. I'm about to say 6 o'clock. It's 7:04 and it looks like 3:04 outside to me because I'm in Florida, so it's like real sunny and still bright outside. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to another session of prayer for marriages. I'm your host, Marcia Baker. I'm an evangelist in the kingdom, and we're just here to just increase some more knowledge on with ourselves on tonight and help to educate everyone tonight. Tonight we're doing our second part two. Did you marry a handyman or a maid? Listen, let me tell y'all something. The feedback I've gotten, and I'm sure Evangelist Nikki have gotten feedback too. Let me tell you something. Ladies, don't fret. We're gonna talk about being a maid too. But see, y'all like to jump the gun. We're talking about the wife treating the husband as the handyman. Next week we're gonna talk about you. We're gonna discuss you. Don't fret. Don't worry, right? So that's what we're gonna be talking about tonight. And I'm excited because a lot of times we start doing things that we didn't sign up for or bargain for. But so that's our topic on tonight. Part two. Did you marry a handyman or a maid? All right. And so Evangelist Nikki gonna come in and introduce herself and just greet us, and then we're gonna go right into our topic because I want us to really divulge into it on tonight about the handyman, and then next week we're gonna talk about the women being the maid. All right. So Yvonne, just come in and greet, and then we're just gonna go right into our topic.
Awesome, awesome. Good to be back. Good to be back today. Where I live, there's no school today. It's called Independent Learning Day. Y'all know I was furious about that, right? Because I'm like, I have a toddler. She does nothing independently. And apparently she have a whole bunch of project to do today while I work today. So yes, it's been an amazing Monday, exciting, marvelous Monday. Good to be back. My daughter is loving her independent learning day while I get stuck doing all her homework and running up and down in Michael's trying to find stuff for her project. So it's been a fun day. And as Evangelist said, it's only the 9th of March and these kids are out of school already again. Nevertheless, I'm so excited to be in your earring wherever you're streaming from. We truly, truly, truly honor your presence. And we ask just one thing. Please share, please like, let the algorithm recognize that we're here. So somebody you might know might need this information. And as Evangelist alluded to, we are doing part two, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, part two. Listen, so much for the men, right? We'll be coming back next week, as Evangelist said, for the woman the topic again tonight, which is part two. If you missed last week, don't be dismayed. Go back and catch the replay. Are you married to a handyman or a maid? Yes, or a maid. You know, somebody said to me, the better question, I think my spouse said to me, the better question is to ask is, what job description did you really sign up for?
Oh, now that's a whole topic in itself.
Right? So yeah, it's very interesting. But are you married to a handyman or a maid? How about it, Evangel? We started off last week, and I was told that I was defending the woman point of view, which I don't think I was. If y'all thought I was only defending the woman point of view, y'all let us know in the comment. Let us know in the comment. Because they said Evangelist was 30 and the man, and I was more passive towards the woman. And I hope y'all don't feel that way. My point of view is neutral, right? We are stating what we research and what it looks like, as the role of a handyman. What role are you playing in your home? Are you playing the role of a handyman or the maid? So let us know in the comment how you feel and what does that look like for you. And we're going to give you some more information as well. Evangelist, you want me to start off, Evangelist, or you want to tell us what
Go ahead.
what that looked like for you? So yes, so are you a handyman, in your relationship? What role did you sign up for? What staff member do you play in your household? So let's talk about it, right? Because the more I sit with this topic, and I started examining, my own household, my role, my husband role, and the different roles that we play in our household. And I even discussed it with him. And one of the things he said when I break it down to him, because I'm like, babe, I'll call him like, the car need cleaning. I'll tell him like, okay, anything to do with the car, I honestly don't. I do not clean my car. I don't like to put fuel in my car. If the light comes on, I'll gauge it to see how far it could take me. If it could take me home from my husband to go put fuel in the car, I usually be that one because I have a phobia with gas station, guys. It's a personal situation I've been to at a gas station, so I really have a phobia with gas station. So my first resort when it comes on to fuel is always diverted to my husband. Yes, so he'll always make sure he full up, but there's time that I have to stop. But it's really, 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 really very rare when I have to do that. But now doing this topic and delving, some people
Miss
might say, well,
Andrews, I want to butt in. I want to butt in, right? Now, you said something. You said that you have a phobia of it. That's totally different when you have a phobia than when it's
expectation, right?
expectation
Yeah,
from
you
it,
have that
right?
said. That's what he was
Right.
saying to me too, because I didn't have a problem, but then something happened to me at the gas station, and from then. But one of the thing when we discuss as far as the Handyman, meaning you managing everything. You have to remember everything. You cleaning everything. You fixing everything, and somehow still being emotionally available, attractive, calm, patient, right? Mentally sane, right? Because apparently you don't want to say no. Everything start with you, and you feel like if you need to take a rest, if you need a break, you feel like you're letting somebody down. So you always on the go. You always trying to find something to do because you tell yourself it start with you, it depends on you, and no one cares, so I have to do it, right? And you forget that you have a partner that's supposed to be your teammate. And one of the things that we don't do, we don't set boundaries. We don't talk about the things that we wanted to share. We just become defaulted to be the go-to person, the strong person, right? If the car make a noise, if you hear a squeak, if the Wi-Fi goes out, while a lot of time we said, what is my partner doing? I don't know why she's not helping or, she's not supporting. We don't say verbally to them. We just assume that they see the issue and they're supposed to be jumping and fix, but we don't ask for help. The men don't ask for help. They don't raise their hand and ask for help because they consider themselves strong because they're Mr. Fix It.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're Mr. Plumber when it's plumbing is not their scope of support, right?
You know what I want to add there while you said that Mr. Fix It. I want to say this. A lot of times too, if the couple, if the dynamic in the relationship is the prodding dynamic, a wife may resort to nagging or creating a list of chores because she feels now that the husband is not proactive enough. And so we have to be very mindful about the prodding dynamic, right? Where where I'm gonna make a list of chores for my husband. And like I said, when I got the idea for the topic, when the person reached out and said to me, and I asked my husband, does he feel like a handyman around the house? He said sometimes, and then I can see it, right? I can see it. Like some things I can't do. I'm not gonna say I'm not going to do. Well, yeah, some things I'm not going to do. Since my husband is we're in the same household, I'm not taking out the trash. No. I'm just not gonna take out the trash, right? Blessings to you, my Aunt Lena. Amen. Greetings to you on Facebook and on YouTube, right? So trash I'm not taking out, right? And so, but that's not a chore. That's just something that has to go out. And a lot of times when the prodding dynamic is like that, this often leads to the handyman role where the husband only acts after repeated requests.
Nag.
Repeated requests or when a crisis occurs. So we got to be careful now with the prodding dynamic. We must be careful because we don't want to seem like we're nagging.
Yeah.
Stuff needs to be done, absolutely.
Yes.
And I've learned over the years being married to my husband that the more I ask him to do something is the slower he does it.
Longer.
But it's the like even to say it's the longer it takes for him to actually start it. So I realized that if I just say it once and leave it, he gets to it quicker. So in everything we have to learn our spouse, right? So we have to learn them. So we don't want to do the prodding dynamic where we make a list of to-do lists for them to do, because that's going to cause crisis. And when we're in crisis mode, then we know the arguing starts, the bickering starting, but you never, and you start to make it permanent. Like, you never do this. I always. So we have to be careful and mindful how we're prodding. We're not making a to-do list. Hi, my brother Bishop Joseph M. Pfeiffer. Listen, we have to make sure that the dynamic in our household is where it goes back to the basis, communication. It goes back to the basic communication. Because guess what? Once we start doing the prodding dynamic, then Evangelist Nick is saying the emotional disconnect come and resentment. We got to be mindful of that. Listen, if a wife feel like she's carrying the burden of mental labor, right? Managing schedule, kids, cleaning, cooking, sex, resentment is gonna. I gotta
Yeah.
do all this. Take care. I've been home with my daughter all day because they didn't have school, and I cooked and I cleaned up, and now it's time for bed, and I gotta. The resentment is going to come in there somewhere. So the handyman syndrome, and even if it's the spouse who is doing the cooking and the cleaning and the yard work and doing taking care of everything, taking out the trash, bringing it back the trash can, cleaning up the yard, bringing in the listen, is going to some kind of disconnect is going to be there, right? And so when a wife does it, right, it leads her to treat the husband as like a roommate and or a handyman rather than a husband. So we see,
Mhm.
look, little things that we start out doing, like I was telling Evangelist Nikki when we before we came on the air. I said, I don't start doing certain cute little things. Like when we ask them to do something and they delay in doing it and we do it because they don't do it, they stop doing and then we start doing, right? Or vice versa. And then now the handyman syndrome coming or the maid syndrome. But we're gonna leave the maid for next week because I have a whole plethora of why the husband treat the wife like a maid, right? And so when the wife makes the lists and all of this kind of stuff, it breeds resentment. Amen. Go ahead, Nick. I'm saying amen like I'm preaching. Lord,
It's a habit, no worries.
what's that
And that is
habit?
all right. And one of the real questions that I had to sit with, because like I said, everything that we do, we're not exempt, right? We all
Right.
have been here. Evangelist said, y'all know for me, I share with the car thing. It's a car thing for me. I do not. And to be real, my husband by profession, by trade, by certification, he is a trained mechanic. So
Mm-hmm.
it's natural for me to like, babe, this sound, and I record it, and. But one of the things that I was also sitting with myself, and this was a hard question I had to ask myself, and I asked a couple men in the ministry as well, like, and women, what role are we playing, or what role are you playing? And even those who are watching right now, I think we asked this question before, even last week. And if you
Mm-hmm.
want to be honest and just keep it real and keep it a buck, as they'd say, with yourself, what role are you playing? What role is your spouse, based on what we have discussed as the Handyman syndrome or even the maid? you know now we're focusing this week on the men, so we want us to kind of delve in us as women, right? And to assess your spouse and what role is he really playing,
Right.
in your relationship. Because everyone want to talk about what their partner isn't doing. It's easy to say
Correct.
he doesn't take out the garbage, he doesn't fill up my tank like he's supposed to, he doesn't clean the car like he's supposed to, right? But nobody want to talk about the role they play. See, because if we're honest, maybe we're not really married to Handyman or a maid. Maybe we're married to someone who exhausted, like Evangelist said. You started dating that way, you've been in a relationship doing everything that way. Now you come to a point where you get exhausted, you're
Mm-hmm.
getting overwhelmed now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Mm-hmm.
not getting the accolades, you're not getting the affirmation, you're not getting the thank you, you're not getting the
Mm-hmm.
appreciation
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The little
Mm-hmm.
things that you do that we don't notice, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So maybe we're married to someone who have been carrying the load for so long that we forgot that it was heavy. Like Evangelist said, when her husband wasn't home, she had no problem taking out the garbage,
Right.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
now that her husband there, it defaults to him. But a lot of time we don't take the time, babe. I appreciate those strong muscles that you use to take out the garbage, right? I appreciate you. We don't do that no more and forget how
No.
heavy it was for us when we have to do it. And then they
Mm-hmm.
start getting overwhelmed and
Mm-hmm.
said, why can't you take it out? Why gotta
Mm-hmm.
be me? It's them
Mm-hmm.
saying, it's not, I don't want to do it. It's just, I don't feel appreciated.
You know what
I
that
become, I get this job description that I didn't even sign up for, right?
right. But you know what that becomes now? It becomes a transactional relationship.
Yes. And then what happened, we so get accustomed to them doing it, we start giving them the bare minimum. They're doing everything. They're trying to do everything for us while we've been offering the bare minimum.
Bare
And
minimum.
then, partnership is not about assigning roles. We know that
No.
as believers, right? It's
No.
about sharing them. It's about
Mm-hmm.
teamwork, right?
Yes.
It's about healthy relationships that
Let,
are
let,
built not on job titles at all.
listen, Evangelist Nikki, stop right there for a moment. Teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork, balance. Blessings to you, Elder Donovan out of Ontario. Balance, teamwork.
Yes,
When you work
team.
as a team, it doesn't seem tedious, and you don't. The one person is not feeling like the handyman or the maid.
Yes.
So if you
Yes.
work as a team, like my husband does the laundry, and I'll fold up. It may take me 30 to 45 business days to fold the laundry, but it gets done, right? And so when you work as a team, I cook, he washes the dishes, right? But guess what will happen now? It's communicated.
Yes.
It's so everything about our relationship, the marital relationship, is about healthy and effective communicating. How are you communicating what has to be done or what needs to be done? How are we saying it? How's our tone? Everything boils down to body language, tone, how we say it, how we do it. Is it an emergency for the trash to go out because it's trash day? Yes, but shut oh my God, that just causes anybody, male or female, to shut down. Nobody's gonna be reacting to that. You're gonna go into flight, fight or flight mode. That's the mode you're gonna go into. Like you're gonna give the person an anxiety attack, right? When we get into that mode, so we have to be careful that we're not in a transactional relationship, right? Because guess what? Too now, this just came to me. Then sex now becomes transactional when it's
Yep.
supposed to be
It become
beautiful.
weaponized. It become
Right? You
weaponized. If you don't
weaponize
take
this,
out the trash,
Lord
you get no
Jesus.
intimacy. You don't do it, it become, a weapon.
It becomes and listen, ladies, be careful. Yeah, I've always stated this. Be careful how you use the intimacy as a weapon. Be mindful. Yes, your husband may be in the church or the mosque or whatever religious practice he
Its
does.
basic biology as a man
It's
remain the same.
basic biology for the man. If you
Is
withhold from
that
him,
need remain
he
the
gotta
same?
he gotta get it from somewhere. Now, I'm not excusing infidelity. I'm not giving anyone the license to go out and cheat. But ladies, you don't want any strange woman satisfying your spouse. We just don't want that. So we're going to not make our relationship transactional. We're going to make it beautiful so that if I said, babe, oh my God, the trash guy is, you can hear the trash truck up the street, right? Like, babe, oh my God, the trash truck is coming. He's like, okay, I forgot. And then both of us rushing. I'm rushing to gather the trash out the bathrooms and all of that out the kitchen to make sure. And he's running down the driveway with the trash can. I'm like, okay, babe, you forgot the bag. You know what I mean? We're teamwork. We're working together to get it done. Right? So and he doesn't feel bombarded like, oh, I gotta take out the trash. No, you have to make sure, we have to make sure as wives how we're relating, how we're speaking, how the communication. Listen, when there's lack of communication, there's a lot of unspoken expectation that builds up, which leads to frustration where the husband's failure to do a task now causes the wife to view him solely as a functional resource other than rather than an emotional partner. Do you see how treating your spouse like a handyman can affect every part of them? Listen, basic biology tells us when a man, when the male is frustrated and tired and can't function as a man without us telling him, all of his parts will not work. The parts that we love the most will not function. When you emasculate your husband, he will not be able to function. Then that causes another issue. So, ladies, now be mindful of our behavior. As Evangelist Nikki said, stop weaponizing the bedroom. Stop it. Don't, if you've been doing it, and I know it's not working out right for you. I know it's not working for you. It's working against you because once your husband, we're talking specifically about husbands this week. Once your husband loses that emotional connection from you, you're in trouble. You're in serious trouble. It's not the devil. It's not, it may not even have to be anybody on the outside. It's you. You are the weapon fashioned against your marriage, right? Not anyone on the outside because you have weaponized intimacy because he won't take out the trash on time, because he won't fix the toilet seat, because the blinds fell down and you're not able to put it up. And so now I'm not giving you none. No, stop it, please. One, the living room don't have nothing to do with the bedroom. It don't have nothing at all. It's two separate entities and definitely don't have nothing with the kitchen. Two separate entities, right? Am I right? If I just think back me up
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. You're onto something. You are definitely and you said it, you give a beautiful model or an example of how you and your husband work with teamwork when it comes on to the garbage.
Mhm.
And a lot of people like, well, this is what he'd been doing forever, but you can remove from that mindset of treating your spouse as handyman and start working together as teamwork. What does teamwork look like? Evangelist, give us an explanation, an example. And it looks like, let me help you with that.
Mhm.
I see you're tired. Let me take over.
Mhm.
We're in this together.
Mhm.
What do you need from me?
Right.
How can we make this easier for both of us? Some
Mhm.
day it's not going to be 50-50 every day. Some days 80-20. Some
Mhm.
days 10-90.
Mhm.
Right? And then someday it's barely functioning.
Right.
Right? And say, babe, carry me today. He took over the full 100 today.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But that's like Evangelist said, it's communication.
Mhm.
It's vocalizing where you are today. So long as we're balancing out each other with healthy communication, it's okay.
It's
Where
okay.
it's not default to one person automatically sign up for this role of the maid or the handyman where everything defaults to them and there is no in between. It's just,
Mhm.
hey, you got to do this. You
Mhm.
sit there and watch and say, well, the garbage truck is coming. What you going to do?
Right.
Right? How
Mhm.
can we help to make sure we don't miss it? Because one
That's
thing affects both of us.
it.
We got to see
Right.
that if it impacts him, it impacts me. It impacts us. It's
Evangelist,
not
say that
him
again,
over there.
please. Say that again, please. Say it again.
No?
If
Now,
it
when we
impacts
think of
him,
partnership
it's
and
going
teamwork,
to.
Right. And for those of us, I know a lot of us in corporate or in your own business, we might work in silo where we have our own tasks to do. But at the end of the day, we have time when we have to come together as a team and collaborate,
Mm-hmm.
right? To make it a win-win. And it's the same thing in marriage, right?
Yep.
When I succeed and my team don't succeed, I don't succeed,
That's right.
right?
That's
We
right.
all have to succeed. So
Mm-hmm.
my husband's failure is my failure, and
Right.
vice versa. When we see from that lens that what impacts him impacts me, and vice versa, we would not be pointing and say it's his task, it's his role, it's his responsibility. And it's like, well, that's not what I signed up for. How comes I become the default to this role?
Right.
How comes I become the default to the Mr. Fix It, the
Mm-hmm.
Home Depot, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
plumber? How
Yes.
comes I become the default? And
Mm-hmm.
there's no appreciation,
Yep.
you know. So there's some, like Evangelist said, we can cook together, we can do the laundry together. It's not his role, my role, her role. It's who's have the bandwidth at this time, because there's time we might say, honey, I want to cook today, but you get so tired at work or tied up in traffic or whatever. He can go ahead and start. He can take this stuff out
Mm-hmm.
of the freezer or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
start prepping and stuff like that. And that's teamwork. That's working together. We're not sitting there, well, when you come home, what time is gonna be dinner? Well, you know what I mean? We work together by communicating. I'm running late today. I have a late meeting today.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to
Mm-hmm.
order in something, or do you want to
Mm-hmm.
take out something for a quick cook? That is partnership,
Partnership.
right? It's
And
not.
you know what? You know what partnership brings, Evangelist? It brings balance.
Yes.
It brings balance. When we work together as partners, it brings balance, right? And so when you have balance, you won't create that handyman role. It will be the husband wife role, right? So
Yeah.
when there's no balance, right? When there's no balance, when there's lack of emotional connection, it results now in feeling that the relationship is merely about getting chores done, and we don't want that for your marriage. And this is what this program is about, creating a healthy marriage, successful marriage. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to save marriages one family at a time. We're trying to save family one marriage at a time. And so what happened is you have to make sure that you don't and I want to encourage every wife out there. Don't have the prodding dynamic in your household. Don't do the prodding dynamic. Don't resort to the nagging. Don't do that, because it will create havoc in your household. Do we know everything? No, trust me. When this topic hit, it hit. I'm not gonna say us because I can't speak for evangelists. It hit my household first because I asked my husband. He said, "Yeah, sometimes he do feel like a handyman." And you know, it's another thing that we do together, because I go food shopping like maybe once a month. So I buy things in bulk, right? For my household. So when I go and I buy my meats and my fish and all of that kind of stuff, we season up the meat together. We're both cleaning up the turkey. We're cleaning up because we buy turkey pie. So we're cleaning up the wings and the necks. My husband loved the necks. So we're cleaning all that up at one time, and we're seasoning up all at one time. And then he's putting in the Ziploc bag, and then I'm vacuum sealing. So we're working together, right? I tell him, baby, I put the seasoning on. This is how we work. I put the seasoning on, and he mixes up. So we're doing it together, right? He's putting it in the bag. I'm vacuum sealing and put it in the freezer. We're putting it away. We're doing this together because when we do it together, it makes the load lighter. So we're just encouraging you. The topic today is: are you married to a handyman or a maid? But for the last 2 weeks, we've just been dealing with the handyman portion. Why does the wife treat the husband like a handyman? Right? So next week we're gonna talk about why does the husband treat the wife like a maid. And ladies, you're gonna love us next week. This week, because we're encouraging you to be better at communicating and not
It,
have a transactional relationship. You feel left out, but don't feel left out, because we're gonna come down everybody's street. All right, we're gonna come down everybody's street. So what we're trying to do now is foster healthy relationship so the marriages work, because marriage work, and not just kingdom marriage, because we deal with every marriage. We're talking about the marriages, how God created a husband and a wife, married to, he that findeth a wife. Those are the marriages that we're talking about, right? And I don't want to say the
Covenant.
other marriage, right? He that findeth a wife, right? Because you have favor, you have a good thing and you obtain favor. So we're just trying to help you to maintain that, being that good thing and that favor for your spouse. Amen. Any last thing, Evangelist, before we go on?
Yes, and we can't drive it enough. We do series on it. Communication. Communication is the missing key. Relationship problem is not about the chores, not about being a handyman or a maid. It's about communication. And that one of the things that evangelist and I want you guys to take away, for example, when he said, it's not about taking out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it makes them feel like they're doing everything because we don't appreciate the time that they do it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you find yourself in that situation, start communicating, healthy
Mm-hmm.
communication.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your
Healthy.
spouse, ask them how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not all lost. It starts with being intentional, communicating for a different outcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Try.
Yeah. You don't want to keep having the same issues, the same outcome.
Yes.
You know that someone once said, if you keep hitting your head up against the wall and think it's not gonna bleed, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Listen, I said
Mhm.
to someone the other day, because she said she was having some issues in her household. I said, guess what? I'm gonna tell you like Evangelist Nikki said, you change. You be the change that you want to see in your
Okay.
relationship. You change. And I'm telling you, once you change, I've seen it work. It worked for me. When she said it, I was like, hmm. But once I changed, I saw the difference with my husband, right? I saw a big difference, right? And so if you want to see change in your relationship, he don't talk to me right. He don't treat me right. You start treating him right. You start talking to her right, right? And so you start treating your marriage like a partnership. Collaborate. We're not compromising. We are collaborating because why? Why are we collaborating? Because when you compromise, one person win and the other lose. And so, as Evangelist Nikki clearly stated, when our husband fail, we fail because we're one. We're a team. It's not, oh, it's him. It's all, no, it's both of us. Listen, we were going somewhere one day and my husband said, you gonna wear that? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're representing me. You can't represent me like that. I think it was yesterday. I had on some flat shoes, and he was like, "You wear? I don't like the way those flat shoes look." I was like, "Well, I like them." He's like, "So guess what I did? Turned back and went and put on some different shoes. Thank God I had a different shoe to put on, right?" But I represent him. So he wants me to look good and vice versa. So it's just about communicating, right? And the way he said it, I just had to laugh. I couldn't even get upset. I just had to smile because it was just him. It's just his reaction. And my husband doesn't yell or scream or holler, but he said it so
He's a
kindly.
monotone one. He's a
Right.
quiet voice.
Yes. So I just went and changed it. So listen, we've talked about being a handyman. So next week, come back next week, and we're gonna talk about are you married to a handyman or a maid? We're gonna focus on the maid portion of it. Listen, we pray that this message, this series is blessing you. Listen, do us a favor, head on over to YouTube and just hit the subscribe button so we can get in the algorithm on YouTube and people can see us. Like, share, comment. Listen, like,
Yes.
share, comment so that people can know that we're out there. All right, we love you. God bless you. God keep you. See you on next Monday. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.